Sup guys, Fat Archon here, bringing another 40k video. Today I'm gonna be briefly going over the new Chaos Daemons data slate, and long story short, we got buffed to the freaking gills, man. Not a single nerf in sight, both points and like army rules, and like gameplay rules in general. The new pivoting change is a big deal when 90% of your Greater Daemons come on round bases. Also, for the most part, you ignore like wings and like bits that hang off the sides of the base, so no longer is gonna be a pain in the ass like sneaking through like small little gaps, that sort of stuff. So I'm pretty excited to get them on the table. But yeah, I'm gonna be going over some of the units you might want to look at. So like Fiends, hey, what's up there? You know, the new rules we got, all that sort of stuff. For sure, I do foresee demons being like way more competitive than they were already. I already thought they were like sneaky good. Like people like underappreciated how strong they were. Now we like officially are, and I think most people are like waking up to it. Now we really are like one of the more competitive armies out there. As usual, if you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing. That said, we got a decent amount to go through, so I'm gonna hop right into it and start off. We're gonna go over the new army rule. So long story short, they gave every single Greater Demon their own 6-inch aura, the Shadow of Chaos. That used to only be something Be'lakor could do, but not anymore, and that was like a big deal just with him. Well, now you don't have to rely on that single freaking model to get like extra value to make your army rule work, essentially. What's cool too is this works on both generic and named versions. So like, I was bringing Scarbrand pretty much every single list ever as it was. He just gained more value without going up even a single freaking point. Like, that's pretty awesome. Now, do be aware, it only works on your respective gods. So Scarbrand could only, like, buff other, or affect other, like, Khorne models. Lord of Change could only affect, like, Tzeentch models, etc., etc., etc. If you're a mono-god player, and I know there's a lot of you out there, like, yeah, man, your list just got better. You're not forced to bring Be'lakor to, again, make your army rule work. Like, I think that's a pretty big deal. More than even just mono-god lists, there's like a dozen reasons it's such a big deal. So, enhancements. You always get the boosted version of your enhancement now. So maybe you're bringing like a Great Unclean one with the Endless Gift. Well now, no matter what, he will always get his 4-up Feel No Pain. This dude was already an auto-include, now he's like even more of one. What's hilarious to me, he didn't even go up like a single freaking point. A lot of people were anticipating that, but not the case. Maybe you use Lord of Change for your anti-tank. He will always get his boosted Strength 12 profile. Like, those are all gigantic deals. On top of that, you'll pretty much always get the boosted version of your stratagems. So Realm of Chaos, you'll always be able to pick up 2 units, like pretty much no matter what, so long as you're within 6 inches of a Greater Demon. But yeah, if you're doing the teleporting like Scarbrand plus Bloodletters, like nothing personnel, kid, like yeah, dude, you'll be hopping around the table every single turn. They can't really stop you. With the new changes, this is like a gameplay change, not specific to this army. The anything that affects like the cost of stratagems only works in a 12-inch aura now. Dude, we used to get screwed on the Realm of Chaos all the time. People knew to make that one cost more. Suddenly, you don't have to worry about that like at all. Your odds of being within 12 inches of somebody and using the Realm of Chaos, like incredibly slim, so I really don't worry about that. You'll also always get to use your Warp Surge stratagem, so like Keeper Secret's gonna love the shit out of that. That's the Advance and Charge stratagem. You have to be in your shadow. Well, boom, they always have it next to him. Like, dude, that's giant. On top of that, like, you gotta think just your army rule in general, which used to be like kind of a pain because good players knew, and like it was hard to keep half of the no man's land objectives, and again the enemy deployment zone like near impossible to get. Well, now like anytime you pass a morale test, you're either regening wounds or you're regening freaking models if you're battle line. Like, how big a deal is that? You still get to use your drop pods or use your Greater Demons as drop pods, so I do think Bloodthirster is going to be way more common. He went down in points as well, but dude, drop your Bloodthirster down, then bring Scarbrand down next to him, then bring your freaking Bloodletters down with their 5-inch charge on top of that. Like, holy shit! Yeah, dude, I think demons are like looking the best they've ever looked. Yeah, this is the best they've ever looked. And this is just army rules. We luckily got some like point changes as well, which about freaking time. Slaanesh finally got some love. Fiends might suddenly become like auto-include all of a sudden. These guys are like incredibly like points efficient. Like, yeah, dude, I'm so hyped to start writing up new lists. Speaking of list writing, so we got across-the-board point cuts. Not a single model went up in cost. So first of all, Be'lakor, and he very much needed this, by the way, he dropped 25 points. That's such a big points cut. Now, is he an auto-included 325? I don't think he's quite there yet. 300 would have been much better, but most lists were like bringing him anyways. Boom, you just got an extra 25 points to work with. Like, dude, that's pretty awesome. Bloodthirster, he dropped 15 points. Now he costs the same as Scarbrand. That was very much needed, by the way. I always thought, and I still think, like, Scarbrand's better than the Bloodthirster, so why would I bring that guy when he's more expensive than Scarbrand? Well, now they're the same, and truthfully, I do think you'll be seeing a lot more Bloodthirsters, and what I'll probably start doing, like, I need to test it, I'll probably be bringing both of them, Scarbrand and the Bloodthirster. That way I can use either or. I can use them as a drop pod for the other guy. Like, damn, dude, that's pretty powerful. Both of the Demon Princes got point cuts, so one went down 10 points, the other went down 15 points. Now, they need to go further, because when you bring Great Unclean one for like 40 points more, like, come on, man, it's pretty obvious right there. However, maybe you're doing like Rule of Cool, you're a cool guy, so like you bring them just because they look awesome or whatever. Well, boom, now you got more reason to. Demonettes drop down 10 points. I do think, now, they're not quite where they need to be. Demonettes are like the flimsiest things on the planet. However, they do have a 9-inch move, and they are bow line. Both of those are incredibly important, so I could be very wrong. And I have seen GT lists, when they were still expensive, by the way, when they were still 110, I have seen GT lists that brought them along as well. So, like, they're not unusable at all, and very much need that points cut. Fate Skimmer. Dude, he's under 100 points now. He's 95. Fate Skimmer is fantastic. That guy gets to go back into reserves at the end of your opponent's turn. That is such a powerful rule. That basically saves you a command point from using the Realm of Chaos, and now he's even cheaper. Like, why the hell did GW do that? I don't know, but I'm gonna start running them more. Fiends. This is the biggest one. Fiends went down 15 points. They were already usable at 120. At 105, like, dude, they're really close to auto-include. Like, I'm incredibly tempted to toss them in, like, every single list ever. They're freaking beasts, so they get to move through walls. They got the 12-inch move. They have a really good aura. They give what? I believe it's a -1 to hit, and then -1 to your Desperate Escape test. Like, dude! Yeah, Fiends they give Blood Crushers a run for their money now, which was very much needed. Slaanesh needed love, like, more than anybody. Finally, GW did the right thing, like, yeah, gave them another look-see. Nurglings, this is a hilarious one. So the MSU version, the 3 models, they stay the same at 40 points. However, if you bring expanded squads, you get a point cut. So at 6 models, it's only 70 points. And if you go a full squad, it's only 105 points. Those are steals. Now, I will admit, me personally, I still think MSU is the way to go. I also very much think, like, dude, Nurglings are still an auto-include. I'm still putting them in every single list I wrote. Anybody who says, like, Nurglings are dead, like, nah, man, I heavily disagree with you. The getting cheap move blocking at 40 points, like, dude, that's priceless. That's priceless, man. And there's still secondaries that are, like, positional, so engage on all fronts, like, and behind enemy lines, any of those sort of things where you don't have to do an action. For 40 freaking points, you don't care what happens about them. Like, don't get me started on Nurglings. Plague Drones drop 10 points. They very much need this. Like, when you get Blood Crushers for the same price, like, why would I ever pick Plague Drones? Well, now at 110, like, dude, they're pretty resilient. And if you consider the points and toughness to, like, points ratio, they're one of the best in the game, in fact. Skull Cannon, he's under 100 points now, too. That guy was very much like a tech pick, like a finesse pick or whatever. And for sure, some people run him, like, really good success. Me, personally, I don't normally bring him. But at 95, dude, if I got the points left over, like, yeah, there's a pretty good chance I'll give him a look. And then lastly, the Soul Grinder, one of my favorite models in the game. He went down freaking 10 points. He was already, like, fantastic as is. At 180, he's even more fantastic. Who'd have thought? Overall, we're making out like bandits, guys. Both points and army rules and, like, gameplay rules. So, yeah, I should probably mention that. So it was funny. GW separated it into, it's in 2 different FAQs or whatever. If you read the Pariah Nexus tournament FAQ, anything on a round base never pays the pivot cost, at least if I'm understanding it right. Yeah, round bases, you don't pay 2 inches to pivot. So your Greater Daemons, dude, they can get across the board super ultra easy. Also, you ignore bits that hang off the base. So unless the base can physically fit somewhere, then you're able to, like, make your movement. You just can't end your movement if, like, the wing's in the way. So Bellicor, previously, he would have even like this huge gap right here, he might have had some trouble fitting through it. Not anymore, and you get to pivot as much as you need, so, like, a line of sight suddenly isn't nearly as big of an issue. Dude, you just have to pay so many inches of movement just to rotate this guy. If you want to rotate him like that, you'd be paying, like, I don't know, 4 to 5 inches of movement. That's crazy good. Another change they made, now parts of the model can overhang the edge of the table. So, like, Bellicor right here is wing. Previously, that wasn't allowed. Now, a lot of players were, like, chill with it, but for sure, if you're doing WTC, like, definitely, and any, like, tournaments and that sort of stuff, yeah, you weren't allowed to do that. You would have to spend so much movement just to rotate that guy to fit through a gap and all that sort of stuff. Well, now it's, like, officially supported. Now, do be aware, so oval bases do still pay 2-inch movement. And it can bite you in the butt, because if you rotate even just, like, a 1/4 inch or something like that, like, yeah, you gotta pay 2-inch. However, you can rotate as many times as you want. You can pivot as many times as you need, and you only pay the cost once. So if I need to get this guy across the board and I gotta rotate him like 2 or 3 times or whatever, yeah, dude, I'm only paying 2-inch of movement. Like, we're getting so much mobility out of the new gameplay rules. So overall, guys, I think Demons came out like kings. We were already a solid, like, 50% win rate army. If I'm not mistaken, we had, like, a solid 50% win rate throughout the entire edition. We are very much, like, jumping up. Mark my words, man. These guys are going to be, like, winning tournaments left and right. Now, obviously, other armies are stronger. And, like, I'm not saying at all that we are the strongest army in the game. Although, you know, maybe secretly I do think that. But regardless, guys, not a single... What was a bad change from the new gameplay rules or the new army rules? Did we have a single bad thing happen to us? I don't think so. I can't say the same about the other Chaos armies, unfortunately, but if you're a demon player and you love demons like I do, dude, you guys should be, like, over the moon right now. And I can very much say that I am. Probably my favorite part of all these changes that we should be seeing more variety going forward. And generally the best part, every single Chaos God is viable now. So you can go like mono Slaanesh, you're not automatically screwing yourself. So like I applaud GW for that. That was definitely a move in the right direction. Now for competitive play, I do think, you know, like a mix of gods is still the best way to go. I do think like Khorne remains like the strongest, most powerful god, like period. So bring like a core of Khorne demons. I think that's still the way to go. Like I mentioned, the variety though. So I know I myself, I'm gonna be trying out the Bloodthirster way more. I used to bring Scarbrand every single time. Truthfully, what I'll probably do now, I'll probably bring both of them. And I anticipate, I see no reason they wouldn't do fine. Slaaneshi Fiends, if I didn't make that clear earlier, holy shit, are these guys like looking really good right now. 105 points for that 12-inch move, beast keyword, so you can move through walls, pretty good damage output for the cost, an excellent aura. They're gonna be fantastic at like doing secondaries. Speaking of secondaries, like, dude, demons are like poised to take Pariah Nexus by storm or whatever. We are one of the best scoring armies out there. We have excellent stratagems, hyper efficient like units for like scoring. Like, yeah, dude, flamers are like fantastic for doing actions and that sort of stuff. We're hyper mobile, which is a big deal. We're quite resilient. So like, yeah, the Keeper's Secret, which is hilarious, the Slaanesh or whatever. She's one of the more resilient models in the game. Freaking Great Unclean One, like, okay, he is literally the most resilient model in the game. Like, dude, I think we're looking so good going into Pariah Nexus. I see no reason we aren't gonna like, yeah, start winning tournaments left and right. The best part of it too, I do not think we're overpowered, like even in the least bit, man. We're still like just as like flimsy as we've always been. We have like zero range output aside from like Lord of Change and a little bit of Tzeentch or whatever. Like, yeah, dude, so I don't see them getting nerfed in the ground. Like, what's like broken with these guys? I don't see anything like that. Hyper excited to get these guys on the table. Hopefully you guys are just as excited as I am. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on the new demons, by the way. Are you bringing in, like, Fate Skimmer left and right? You bring maxed out Fiends? Or am I crazy? Do Fiends actually suck? Like, I would love to hear what you guys are thinking. Are they as competitive as, like, I said? Or like, am I overrating them? Any of that sort of stuff, I always want to hear what you guys have to say. I do have a quick shout-out to make as well. So, Nick became the highest tier patron I've ever had. Dude, I am, like, speechless. Like, generally, I'm, like, speechless on how much I want to thank you. It is so amazing. Like, dude, it warms the heart to see people want to, like, support what I'm doing and, like, enjoying what I'm doing. So, like, thank you so much. If anybody else would care to support the channel, I will post a link to my Patreon down below. Of course, you can become a member through YouTube as well. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, like, give it a thumbs up if you could. If you're not already, like, consider becoming a subscriber. But either way, best of luck out there, guys. And remember, death to the false emperor.